Hey, what's going on, everybody? On YouTube, Steve here, Raking Profit. Welcome to another Green Room show. Today we have the Bonafide Hustler on, of course, but we have a special guest, Brianna Moeller Green, and we're going to be talking about how to make money online working from home. Brianna's actually been making a full-time income from home through various income streams for about 7 years now, which is really, really cool. So we're going to dive into things like wholesale, merch by Amazon, Clickfunnels, online arbitrage. So it's going to be definitely a really, really cool show, and excited for it. Let me introduce Bonafide Hustler. Why don't you tell everybody who you are, and then we'll introduce our guest.
What's up, guys? I'm the Bonafide Hustler on YouTube. I have the best channel of all the channels you'll ever see. No, I'm just kidding. Anyways, I'm one of the co-owners of the Green Room University. I buy and resell things on a part-time basis from garage sales, thrift stores, big box stores. I put it on places like eBay, Amazon, Craigslist, my antique booth, and consignment stores in town. I'm really excited about our guest, though, so we're going to get right to Brianna. What is going on, Brianna? How are you?
Hey, I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing well.
Awesome.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Have you seen, hey, Brianna, did you see Steve's shirt yet?
No, I can't read the whole thing.
Oh, yeah. Well, come on, Steve.
She's going to love this because I know she will always pick up the phone when money calls. Is that correct? Are you going to pick it up or are you going to deny it?
I have call waiting, too, in case it calls on the other line.
So I win the corny shirt award today, but Chris wins a different shirt award, but I won't embarrass him right now.
Yeah, no. You wore that when you were working out in Austin. I was like, man, if someone looks like you looked like a straight out of a rap video, like working out with it, it was just kind of funny. Anyway, so Brianna, today we're going to be talking about how to make money online, how you do it, and how you do it full time. And you've been doing it for the past 7 years, and I'm really quite excited to see, how you do it. So, what's your story? I mean, this is a very broad kind of question, but let's take it back about 7 years and like, how did you get started with making money online?
Basically, I mean, it's kind of always been in my blood that I've just been an entrepreneur. Like, I was the kid that would have a little wagon and go door to door, like selling whatever, rocks, pine cones. I mean, it's just always been second nature to me. So then like 13, 14 years old, when all of your friends are starting to kind of go out, you want money, is when I discovered eBay. So that had to have been, let's see, mid to late 90s. And I started selling things from my room. I'd collecting porcelain dolls. I was a snowboarder. I started getting rid of my old snowboard and all the stuff I wore, all my gear. And then, throughout the years, used that just to make a little extra cash as just a young kid. And then, fast forward 20 years now, I'm 36 years old, and I've been doing it full time for 7, close to full time for probably 10 to 12 years.
Oh, wow.
Originally, I was a teacher, and I actually was a tenured teacher. I was a middle school science teacher for 8 years. Got my master's. I have a master's in biology, and I have another master's in educational administration. When I left, I was in a long-term position as an assistant principal, believe it or not. And I was so young at the time, it was kind of funny because I didn't look much older than some of our older students that were there. So that was funny. In fact, a lot of my older students now are in their mid to late 20s, and they're probably watching right now. But yeah, so I was doing eBay part-time, and then I just kind of got to the point where I fell out of love with teaching because of the monotony of it. I'm just like a free spirit. I like to do my own thing and, be able to dictate my schedule. So I took a year's leave of absence 7 years ago. And within a month or two, just with eBay at that time, I knew I was not going back. So I was making a full-time income, even just part-time, running out on my lunch breaks to ship stuff. And I just never looked back. And from there, it's just kind of snowballed. So as you mentioned, I'm into Amazon FBA now. That's actually my main source of income. I do merch by Amazon, affiliate marketing. I've contributed and written a couple of ebooks. So I'm all over the map. I've got a major case of shiny ball syndrome. I've got 50 million projects going on at once. And I love it. Absolutely love it.
We're in the same boat right there.
Yeah, this is like a female raking here on the channel. I'm telling you, man, this is a female raking profit. Like,
I'm gonna get you a shirt, okay? So we'll talk after. I'm gonna send you one of these shirts.
Jeez.
I was gonna say you might even have to redirect me because once I get talking, I get so excited about the stuff. I just go and go and go and go and go. So
keep going. You're the perfect guest.
Oh my gosh. See, she's funneling us right now, Rakin. Like, we're at the top of the funnel. Like, at the very bottom is going to be like the nugget of information at the last minute of the show. Watch. Anyway, But it's good to have you on. That's a pretty amazing story so far. And I can only assume that you kind of alluded to it, but you got kind of frustrated with the full-time thing at, you know, when you weren't your own boss and it looked like life was dictating you, right?
Yes.
And you didn't like that, right?
Absolutely. And as soon as I got that taste of, you know, even just simple things like, you know, as a teacher, you can't just walk out of the classroom. I mean, like going to the bathroom when you feel like it, wearing what you feel like, eating lunch when you feel like it, you know, not having to be on such a strict schedule that someone else is mandating. So yeah, I couldn't do it. And I couldn't do, this is horrible because it is great with a lot of teachers to have a teachers union. But for me, that was actually a negative because there were a lot of teachers that were like, you know, that had been tenured, had taught for 8 years. They're making the same pay as me, and I'm doing 10 times the work. And they're just chilling, you know, collecting the same paycheck. And I was like, you know what, that's cool. It's not horrible pay, but I don't know. I wasn't passionate about it, and I just needed to like release my creativity and do my own thing. So.
Cool. We got a great comment in the feed from Schwartz Knocked 3. Like a tractor beam, Brianna gets your attention. That's a great comment. I like that. You know, that means you're polarizing and you got a good story. So that's pretty awesome. How do you take that story, which took probably 3 minutes? How do you, like when you're at ASD or you're at some of these like FBA parties, like how do you introduce yourself as Brianna? Like, let me ask you, you know how people have that like memorize your, you know, Raken, what I'm talking about? Memorize your, like,
it's
how
like
would
elevator pitch in a
yeah,
sense.
the elevator. Like, what's the I hate pitch. I hate that.
I know. That's not what we mean, but you know.
Yeah, Brianna, what would your elevator be kind of like to someone out there that didn't know who you were?
Well, basically, like, are you talking about, you know, the question we always get, what do you do?
Yeah, I was trying to put you on the spot because I know this is like not rehearsed.
Chris, you should have just said it. Just what do you do?
Yeah. Well, and it's funny too because since, I don't know, I'm just in a weird stage of my life, being in my mid-30s, I'm really on my second big career. So, like, for a long time, it took me a while to separate myself from that previous career. It was kind of like, hey, I'm Brianna Green, and I used to be a teacher, and now I do A, B, and C. And it was just like information overload. So I just say I work for several online businesses, or, you know, I'm an entrepreneur, and usually they don't, you know, push me too much further than that.
Okay.
That's what it is.
So Brianna, how can people follow you and connect with you? Because I guarantee you, like the information that we're about to hear is going to be really good. So let's, you know, at least what are you part of? You were part of the Thrifting Lounge at one point, right?
Yes. Yep. I used to be part of the Thrifting Lounge, but I just couldn't really be an admin and contribute as much as I wanted to anymore. When I started to, basically, I started to weed through my eBay store as I shifted over to FBA. I gave it a couple years to learn it, and then now that it's so automated for me now that I'm back into eBay again for fun. But they can find me. A lot of my contact information can be found on my website, briannamullergreen.com, but you'll find me in the in Elite Product Sourcing, which is one of the companies I co-own. You'll find me in that Facebook group.
It's all linked down below in the description.
Yeah. We have a VA rentals group that focuses a lot on merch by Amazon and about outsourcing virtual assistant tasks because
Ooh, that's interesting.
one of the companies that I co-own, we have anywhere between 30 and 40 virtual assistants that work for us at any given time.
Wow.
So you own a company and these VAs
That's cool.
work for you guys. So are you guys like somewhere in the middle, man? Like you're just making sure that you are the contact for whatever needs to be done?
That, and we're kind of like, well, not kind of, we're going out and actually like interviewing and training. So we have.
Oh, okay. So that's what you get paid for, is that part.
Yeah, because, you know, otherwise it can be hit or miss sometimes if you're not good at interviewing people and like really looking through their record, you know, and then you finally find someone that's dependable. Okay, now can they do the tasks that you need them to do?
Right.
So that's
I've worked with, you know, a lot, probably 50 or 60 VAs, and I can tell you right now that sorting through them and finding the right one and interviewing them and Skyping with them and talking with them, like it's a lot of work.
It is.
What's the word? Vetting? Is vetting the word that you want to use? Like
Yeah.
that's a lot of work. And I'm actually looking for a new VA in part of my business, and I was looking for a company that did all of that for me. So I'll definitely look into that. That's really cool.
And you can like just outsource a task. Like sometimes people don't want to have to commit. Like they feel a little like nervous about the fact that, you know, someone's going to be working for them full time or part time, and like they have to pay them a paycheck, which is very affordable. You know, you can we can find you a virtual assistant full time, or you can just do it on a task basis. Like I need a couple of merch shirts, or I need to have somebody source this wholesale account for me. things of that nature.
Okay, so it's like a turnkey thing. Like they have an idea, they can go to you and you can make it happen, right?
Yeah, we do custom packages all the time, where
Cool.
someone will say, hey, do you have a web developer that could just help me like whip up a quick anchor website for, you know, getting wholesale accounts? And we usually have connections to that can do the whole gamut of things. Create banner ads. It's amazing what our team can do.
Let me jump in real quick, Chris, because this is just like, I know this is a little off the outline, but
But it's fascinating.
I know,
yeah,
it's
I
super
like it.
cool. I know there's probably a lot of people who are watching now who do like Amazon FBA and probably even more eBay sellers. What would a tip be for somebody who, because you know Brianna, eBay is just very, very time consuming. It's very rewarding, but it's time consuming, especially if you want to scale it. What are some good tasks maybe that somebody could look into outsourcing at first with eBay? Are there any outsourceable tasks that you'd recommend for someone?
Yes, absolutely. Well, in both Amazon FBA and for eBay, I outsource a lot of the sourcing. I mean, I'm at a point where I'm doing so many projects. We have a 4-year-old at home. You know, my husband helps out as well, but I can't actually get out there and source. So my mom is trained in that. And I know you work with your mom as well, don't you, Steve?
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, we're not like in business together, but we go out sourcing together and, we help each other out.
Yeah. My mom retired from her job she had been at forever and just loves to shop. And she'd always been shopping with me for eBay 3 years now.
Nice.
Very much was already trained. And I said, hey, want to work for me full time and you can retire a little bit early. And so she loves that. So what I do
I like that
is outsource to her. Like we, 45 minutes away from me. So she'll do the shopping. She'll just take her iPhone and take a couple of quick pictures in natural lighting. I don't get crazy with the pictures. It's just bare bones. And then she'll send those to me just through Facebook in a bulk file. And then on the Google Doc, I showed her how to do that because she's not very computer savvy, but I'm proud of her. She can get there. She puts all the measurements and then she'll know any flaws. And then I can just go through and crank through the listings pretty quickly, but I'll probably outsource that as well, the actual listing process soon.
Once you see that it is a process could be taught kind of thing, right?
Yep.
Okay, cool. Very awesome. Brooke Barone in the comments, hey, Brianna and guys, super excited to have you on here and watch and listen. Do you know who Brooke Barone is?
I do. She's a local friend.
All right, awesome.
What's up,
and
Brooke?
Shout out, go ahead, Raken.
I was just saying hello to Brooke.
Okay. Yeah, what's up, Brooke? And we also want to say hello to Terry Stone. What is going on, Terry Stone? With a super chat of $5. Amazing.
Thanks, Terry.
Thank you so much.
Terry.
So let's talk about the online arbitrage kind of thing. What exactly to you is online arbitrage, or could you explain it to the people in the feed in the most simple way possible?
Sure. So when I started Amazon FBA, I started like other people that maybe don't have a bankroll. So I started with just thrifting and selling a lot of used items, used books, but also just used appliances and things that I was finding at the thrift stores. And then from there, as I started to get more of a bankroll and stuff, then I was able to, buy some other items. Wait, refocus me here. I'm starting to go off on a tangent.
Online arbitrage, like kind of explain it to the people in the feed. Yeah.
Okay, so that just led me into retail arbitrage, but then I had a child, and so what happened was, like, I couldn't leave. It was me. I was a one-woman show, so online arbitrage became necessary. So online arbitrage, all that I do is I literally purchase 90% of what I sell on Amazon FBA online.
Wow.
The only retail arbitrage I do is because my mom loves to shop, and there's a couple of stores she's, like, really good at getting the deals, but 90 to 95% has been online. So of course it helps that we have such a huge group of virtual assistants working for us. Most of them are in the product sourcing department for lead product sourcing. So I am able to, go through their finds on a daily basis. There's so many though, there's just not enough time in the day and not enough money to absolutely purchase everything. So they're literally going to Macy's.com, Walmart.com, all those websites that are like off the beaten path, like, I don't know, Bobsports.com, like, just these little.
I love that place. Bob Sports is so good.
Wait, you shop at Bob Sports too?
Oh,
I do. We all do.
I got the shirt.
So if I hear you correctly, like, okay, there are a million ways to make money, but the online arbitrage, like you said, like you don't have enough money to capitalize on all the opportunity out there. So you're involving VAs to source for you or to highlight deals for you.
So Well, at Elite Product Sourcing, we already have a group of virtual assistants that are actually serving clients. So they're doing product sourcing for clients. There's also, we have access to all these files where I'm seeing, like, let's say we have 12 virtual assistants working a 40-hour week. I'm going through and we're vetting all the finds that, that they're locating. Also, we've trained them how to use tactical arbitrage. They know how to use OA X-ray.
Jeez.
That was a double G's.
Oh my gosh.
So it's like between multiple tactical arbitrage accounts, we just, make sure that we keep those running. So we're constantly running bulk files on those. We have, tens of thousands of product finds that we need to go back through, and the virtual assistants match them up for us so we can make sure that they're the same product. So I literally don't even get to all the information. There's just so much out there.
Question. How can I get one of those VAs to do that for me? Is that a service available where someone could come to you and say, listen, I want someone like that, trained, fully ready to use tactical arbitrage to find me deals, and how would that work?
Yeah, we've actually had it happen. Several people have come to us, and we've worked with so many different VAs that we can't always employ everybody at the same time. Like, in the summer, we're a little bit slower on the FBA side, but maybe busier on the Merch by Amazon side. So, yeah, you can do that.
You know what a cool product for you would be? Because you clearly sound proficient in this, and it looks like you know what you're doing. But maybe some sort of a course, right, Raken? Like where it's teaching you how to teach a VA, or like how to get the right VA. Because it seems like what Raken said, that's a big problem, right? Trying to go through 50 or 60 and finding those last 5 that are like amazing, that stick with you forever. Like Raken, if you had to look at the attrition of like VAs, like you've dealt with so many, and I know that with the green room we had one and it just went crazy, right?
Yeah, that's a story for another day.
Yeah.
Eventually, when enough time passes, we'll share that story. But
oh man,
yeah.
But yeah, Brianna, it sounds like that would be an interesting product maybe to think about, because once you get proficiency in anything, you should always be thinking, how can I give this to the people, right? Somehow.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Anyway, so the best way to get started with online arbitrage, let's say you don't go the VA route, but you want to get into it. You're like, okay, yeah, that sounds interesting. I don't want to go to Walmarts and Targets all day long. I'd like to stay home and and jump on a trampoline and like just eat whatever I want. You know what I'm saying? Like, I say that because look at Raken's background.
This is a $400 trampoline. Do not talk trash about that trampoline, okay? I'll tell you right now, that trampoline, you will never get more height in any trampoline than that one.
Is this Brianna, part of the ketogenic diet? Like there's some kind of trampoline exercising?
If Tony Robbins jumps on a trampoline, I'm going to jump on a trampoline, okay? That's it. Conversation over.
Brianna's like looking at the background of Raken's and going, man, I think I just stepped back into like a 90s jazzercise video.
This is a normal Raken, and then once I turn, the truth is just revealed.
He's going for the retro look. No, but that's anyway. So okay, so yeah, so the people that want to get started with OA, right, but they don't want to involve VA or anything, they want to kind of test it out and see if it's viable. Like, what's the kind of first step that you would do to get started with OA?
Well, I have a free guide, and I'll pop in the comments later and write this down. And it's kind of a guide based on how I began. Like first, you kind of just need a firm experience in like just online shopping. Like the question I get all the time is like, are you paying for shipping? No, I'm not. 95% of these items are free shipping. So you kind of have to be proficient in like coupon codes and buying discounted gift cards. That's going to better your profit margins, taking advantage of like credit card rewards. And there's a lot to it, and it's overload, but I have a free guide and starting on that. But as far as the actual physical sourcing, once you kind of figure all that stuff out, I really just went to stores that I found interesting and hit up the clearance. I just kind of went through and did it manually, and I still do a lot of manual sourcing. There's no software out there that's perfect yet. There's great software that I use, but it's not perfect. So there's a lot of times where I follow those rabbit trails and I'm just manually sourcing. So if you don't have the money to invest in tools or virtual assistants, you can do it still. And we still actually require our virtual assistants to do manual sourcing as well. We turn off the option for them to always be reliant on software because they're missing some potentially great product finds.
Okay, so you think, if I hear you correctly, it's absolutely a prerequisite to at least have done FBA with physical sourcing. You think that's kind of important, right?
So yeah, I really, I think it's a lot easier to get a grasp of how FBA works if you kind of start with a retail arbitrage route where you're physically handling the product, and it's more tangible, the idea of, okay, I paid $9 or whatever for this item, and then you also get to learn the ins and outs and get to learn how to calculate your profits, because there's a lot of people that are lacking that business side when they're, when they get into Amazon FBA, they have no clue what they're making. There's just numbers everywhere. So yeah, I think retail arbitrage is probably the best way to get into it.
Okay, if you had to say 3 sites for people to like, okay, these are good sites to look at for OA purposes, and someone wants to kind of kick back for like 3 hours and go, you know what, I want to give this a shot and at least look in these clearance places. Like, what 3 sites would you give out to the people in the feed?
Oh, let me think here. What on Earth is a cool one.
What on Earth? I've never heard that in any green room show we've ever done. Interesting. All right, what else?
You know, I got that one from paying attention to all these, like, I'm sure your mailbox is the same way, but doing OA, your mailbox is just jammed with catalogs. It's like unreal. So that's where I got that one. It was just a random catalog, and I'm like, you know what? I wonder if they have a clearance section. Let's see here. I love, let's see, clothing and shoes. That's primarily what I sell. I do sell everything, but St. Bernard's.
Oh, I know that place. That place is badass in real life. Like, have you ever been to a St. Bernard's?
No, I haven't.
Dude, so nice. So, okay, so shoes, that's good. Do you like shoes and stuff because you feel as if maybe the returns don't come back as much? Like, it's not like an electronic, for example, right? That can get broken in shipment, you know?
Well, it's funny, though. With clothing and shoes, the return rate is higher.
Define high for us. Like, what do you think? Out of every 10 garments or 100 garments, what do you think? 100 shoes, 100 garments?
It depends on the garments. So, like, swimsuits, shoes, bras, they're coming back. So make sure, I think it's a $3 charge every time it gets returned. So make sure you've got room to work with there. Like, you know, don't buy something with a 30% ROI and think you're going to get 30% on it. You know, make sure you go a little wider when you're sourcing your clothes and shoes. So,
okay, cool.
I'd say about a 10% maybe. Oh, the thing I was going to mention though about that, okay, yeah, the return rate's a little higher and there's some extra fees involved, but the percentage of items that are defective or completely like just trashed is like nearly zero.
If you buy from a reputable OA place, right? You're saying, okay.
So like, you know, people try them on and they come back. I do have it set up so that the returns come back to me because I want to look them over and make sure that Amazon's not like missing like a stain on something because someone tried it on and returned it. But pretty much any clothing or shoes I get back, they just get retagged. They go right back out.
Okay, cool. And do you really feel that with clothing and, you know, bathing suits and bras and shoes, right? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Do you feel as if those things don't just get like used for a party or used for a beach one day and then like returned back to you? No, that's not happening. It just didn't fit, right?
Right. Yep.
Okay, cool.
99% of the returns are just honest returns.
Right. And if you have one weird one, you just chunk it or donate it, right?
Just like eBay or any other marketplace.
Right. Okay. You were alluding to something earlier with the, you know, don't go for just 30. If you're going for 30%, go a little bit, you know, wider than that.
Yeah.
How do you protect yourself against price erosion, which is very, you know, when people think FBA and they think Amazon, they're thinking these things automatically. Like, you know, by the time I get the item and then I look it over, then I sticker it up, then I send it to Amazon, like things have occurred. Like the marketplace changes all the time. So how do you view erosion and what's your kind of like tactic against it?
I don't worry about it too much, but like a lot of new sellers, I joined that bandwagon of like just freaking out about everything that I'm buying, like the price is eroding. To kind of circumvent that, the first thing is focusing on gated categories a lot. I love clothing and shoes. I mean, there's just fewer competitors because it's gated. And not only that, there is a bit of a learning curve with it. Not everybody knows what brands to grab. I mean, obviously we have software that can help us, but you know, knowing what size, what color, you know, especially like, let's talk about a bra. You know, do you know which sizes you should buy, or which type of bra you should buy in larger sizes, which one in smaller sizes? It's quite a bit to learn.
It's like bra overload, Raken. I'm telling you, man. I've never been overloaded by bras so much in my life, dude.
But it protects you against erosion, the price erosion, you know, once you...
Specialized knowledge, yep.
I'm telling you, like, that's insane when you think about it. I mean, so even like when it comes to bras, I mean, the only thing I think about is like Victoria's Secret, but it's like way crazier than that. You're saying, like, you're talking like far beyond that brand like
How many
specialty
different
stuff.
brands are there, would
Yeah,
you
like
say, for bras? Because I don't have the slightest clue.
You know what? It'll give you a good idea if you go to like Nordstrom Rack.
Right.
Look in the bra section.
yeah, Reagan. Let's go there to the bra section in Nordstrom Rack.
Let's see how fast I could get security called on me.
But I see what she's saying. So go there. It's a very interesting tactic. The tactic is like ground level tactic. Go there, see what I know what you're talking about, and then kind of spot some of the higher priced items. Then go home, look at ranks and right things like that.
Yeah.
That's really cool. I
You
mean,
do
who
that
would
a
ever
lot
known?
too, Chris. Like with the, I remember
Oh,
it
yeah.
was one of the first few times we met. Like we would go into like REI and we would go into like Best Buy, and you'd always be looking at all the high end things, studying the brands. You even talked about it in some of your videos.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I still do it every now and then. One of the stores that I really want to go to and like really crush it for that kind of knowledge is like Cabela's or Bass Pro Shops or Gander Mountain, because those things are crazy too, man. But anyway, you know, I always love to say this, Raken, and I like to say this, Brianna, but like there are a million ways to make money. There's just not a million minutes in the day.
Yeah.
There's just not, you know? And like you said, like when you said like I got like a bazillion projects or 60 projects going, I mean, once your project is done, there's always like a bazillion other ones ready to go. Like there's so many opportunities when it comes down to like making money online at home, right?
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
That's what kind of keeps us going, I think. And
Yeah, I agree.
Let me jump in. I got a question for you, Brianna, because this is something that, you know, I always, you know, deal with as well. You know, you've got all these different projects going on, all these opportunities. Like you're well aware of like all the different ways to make money. How do you choose what to focus on? Are you like, let me ask it another way. Like each day, are you focused on just moving the needle forward a little bit more with like 7, 8, 9 different things, or do you more or less like try to like push it as much as you can, maybe 1 or 2 things per day? Like what's your mindset on that?
Well, I usually try to focus on like one major like hub to my business, wherever I might be. This could have been 5 years ago. It could be now. So like right now, most of my day is spent worrying about Amazon FBA. And then I have all of these other side projects. So I just got to keep that going, you know, place my orders, do my shipments. And then from there, I kind of divvy up my time. But I also look at things on a weekly, monthly, and annually as far as like my goals. So like I wanted to cruise through every single piece of Russell Brunson's Clickfunnels, like every book, every video I could possibly do. So like I carved out a really early time every single solitary morning for several weeks, and I'm almost through all of the information. So I tend to do some projects like that, kind of like batch style, like lock myself in a cave for like a week and just crank.
I love it.
Now, before the show started, you said that your husband kind of does this as well, right?
Yeah.
Or helps you. So are you guys in this thing kind of together, or he has his own kind of thing going and you have your own thing? How does that work?
So he used to own an auto body shop. He had it for years. He bought it from his parents, who owned it for many years prior. And in our area, it's just really feast or famine. He can make an amazing income, or it can get slow. But the problem is it's like either 0 hours or a 16-hour day all the time. And it was more important to us to, yes, make enough money, but to make enough money to have freedom of time, to watch our 4-year-old grow up, like go to her whatever performances and school events, and like not have to say, hey, daddy's working, mommy's working. Like that was our ultimate dream. So he actually doesn't have much interest in the day-to-day. Like I geek out. I love numbers. I love statistics. I love projects. I love all this stuff. And I'm like, blah, 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 to him. And he's like, just give me a task.
Oh, okay.
So he shut down the auto body shop a year ago. So we use that as the warehouse. And then we store all of our like vehicles and stuff in a portion of it as well. So it's storage. And he helps out at the house. He helps out with business tasks. But again, it's all task oriented. Like, he wouldn't be like, hey, buy this. I looked at Keepa and it looks like a good buy. Like he doesn't really want to hear about it. I just tell him what to do task-wise and he's happy. And does his own things.
Nice.
Interesting. So let's get back in. We'll swing right back into the outline with this one question, which still has to do with OA. Do you send items directly to your house or do you go prep center? So house to Amazon or prep center, and you never see this stuff?
I've done both. I loved using a prep center. And I used PZP for probably 2 years, and I still do have an open account with them. And I would highly recommend, if you could do that, to use a prep center. It was absolutely amazing to literally not touch anything. Like I sent everything to Brendan. The only reason I pulled back from the prep center is just to kind of fill the time with my husband now home and my mom home, and kind of having some friends that are working here and then are part-time. I just wanted to keep it in-house for now until it gets too large again, and then I'm going to outsource back out to Brendan to handle like wholesale.
So you said PZP, that means Prime Zero Prep, right?
Yes.
Okay. And essentially, if you could kind of simplify this for terms, and like this is a place that you get your inventory sent to, right? And they actually do whatever's needed, polybag it, whatever's needed, right? Prep it, get it in boxes with DNS stickers and anything possible, right? They can do it for a fee, a small fee usually.
It's like $1 an item, I thought, right?
Yeah, $1.50, depending on, you know, if they're bundled.
Bad.
Yeah. Well, the key to that, or the benefit to that, is it doesn't come to your house. It doesn't like affect your family. Like, it can be big things, right? Big shipments, and you don't want 3,000 of something coming to your doorstep on a pallet. You can get it sent to PZP, and then PZP will get it to Amazon, essentially. Correct?
Yeah, and it's a fabulous way to absolutely not touch the product, but also to travel. We have a travel trailer, and we have a side-by-side, which is like a four-wheeler for multiple people. And so we travel all summer long. We go out at a week or two at a time, and that's how a prep center in the past had helped us as well, because we didn't need to come home for anything. We'll just go on to the next place.
It's crazy. So not only are you working completely like laptop lifestyle, but now you're like, you can do laptop plus travel lifestyle multiple times in a summer if you want to.
Yeah. It's
amazing.
Yes.
So when you are traveling across America, presumably, do you have like a satellite dish on top or anything? Do you have to be connected? Like, you have to have your laptop going, right? Like,
totally. Like, I have a big hotspot. This is so bad. The camper is a major glamper. It's got a full garage, so we can fit several four-wheelers. Or it's got
jeez.
3 flat screen TVs and a PS4. It's ridiculous. But yeah, it's complete comfort, because we just want to be able to go and like ride and get muddy and dirty and crazy, you know, and then like shower up and work. And yeah, we have internet and everything on there.
Is it just as fast as home internet?
Yeah. It's
really?
Yeah. Well, it depends on where we are though. Like, we were in the depths of West Virginia over the summer already. When we were there May. Oh man, there was like
to that for that travel internet. I was curious because I was looking into that.
I knew Rakin was getting
like Karma. You use Karma?
I just have Verizon, so I have a tablet through them, one of my tablets through them, and then like this hotspot hub thing that like I don't know how many different devices can connect.
Oh, interesting. I'll look into that.
The funny thing is, like, people go, okay, that's going to add money to my bill or whatever. You don't understand the productivity you can get when you can start getting those things in line. It's unbelievable. Like, well, you saw it in my videos, like Brianna didn't, but if you watch my vlogs, I mean, Rakin is sitting there on a hotspot doing work in my SUV while I'm chauffeuring him around town. And CT.
That was awesome. I wish you could. It's like being a little kid being pushed around in the stroller. Like, it was great.
Yeah, but that's the world we live in, you know, like, you don't just have to like, okay, I'm going to go on a drive now. That means I am completely off, you know, my laptop anymore. You can do these kind of things. So we want you guys to understand that, you know, if you really want to have that kind of like online lifestyle, online business, like sometimes business doesn't stop. Like, you got to keep messing with it, you know? Let's go into, let's kind of fast forward into the wholesale thing real quick. Or if you can give us 3 mistakes real quick about OA. Like, some people are like, okay, I want to try this OA thing. I'm going to try to go do, you know, those 2 sites that you talked about. What are the top 3 mistakes that people are almost guaranteed to like encounter on their OA journey?
One's gonna be, and this is minor, it's not that big of a deal, but I do get a lot of money back from cashback portals like Ebates and Top Cashback and a few other ones. So like, one of the biggest mistakes is just getting used to that process of shopping, filling your cart, popping back over to the cashback portal, entering the site through that cashback portal so that you can collect your reward. That's one of the big mistakes I always made. And then I'd be like, oh, seriously, I just placed like a $2,000 reward, or
that adds up, right?
10% back.
All right, I need you to backtrack real quick. Let's, because I know I kind of know what you're talking about. Let's backtrack it real quick. So you made an online order, right?
Yes.
And you make it through not the primary site, like you're making it through another site that is. Can you explain that real quick?
Sure. Yeah. So let's just keep it like to the American Girl doll store or something. So what I do is I have a couple of websites that have rewards, and I have a couple of credit cards where they have cashback portals. So these are just kind of like advertisement sites. So I go shop, and then I check to see whose portal, whose credit card is giving me the greatest amount of cash back on my purchase. And I have gotten up to 20% back at Nike, Finish Line.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's insane. So Ebates is a big one. Top Cashback, Fat Wallet. I think what else? MR Rebates, I think, or Mr. Rebates. I think that's closing down. And then one of my favorite is You Promise. It's tied to a Barclay card. And so if you use that card and you use their cashback portal, they double it. So now like 90% of the time I go through that, because on almost every purchase, I'm getting 10% back or more.
Wow. That could make the difference between like a good buy or a bad buy.
Yeah. Yeah. You could take a 30%, even 20% ROI. You could stack discounted gift cards. You can stack promo codes, sometimes multiple promo codes, then go through these cashback portals, and you could take something 20 to 30%, and now it's 50 to 60% ROI.
And that helps you when you go to Amazon. If you're the person that's entering with 50 or 60% ROI, like right under your wing already,
yeah,
you can compete now. Now you can compete.
Absolutely.
It's interesting. I love it.
Great tip.
Give us one more real quick, and maybe not 3 mistakes, but give us one more mistake. What do you think?
Not having any clue how to use a repricer. Don't get one if you don't know what you're doing yet. Like, slow down and figure out how to program the thing so it doesn't go bananas. I didn't make too bad of a mistake with that, but you know, if you don't set it up right, then you're getting into the penny wars where you're undercutting the buy box by a penny, and then you're getting into a challenge with their repricer, and they're going to undercut you, and back and forth and back and forth, and you know, pretty soon you're selling a pair of Nike shoes for 2 cents because you're
you didn't set your limits, huh?
Like, and actually, where the heck did that happen? Was it, oh, I think it was DC Shoes. I don't know if they had a repricer or what, but I think it was last year, all of the DC products on Amazon went down to like $1.
What?
Gosh.
They didn't honor it. They must have talked to Amazon and said, I don't know what happened, but literally everything in their Amazon store was $1. So I placed like $2,000 worth of I was like, oh my gosh, a code for $1. Let's do this. And they canceled. But I suspect either a disgruntled employee or a repricer that's gone bananas.
Wow. That kind of stuff happens in the stock trading market too, by the way, like in real life. Yeah, I don't know. They call it like fat finger syndrome or something like that, where someone's like finger's a little too fat on the sell button, and like the whole like market goes ape shit. Anyway, so let's talk about let's move it on to wholesale. And we're gonna kind of see if we can breeze by this, because after this we're gonna talk about Amazon and Clickfunnels. We're gonna go really quick through wholesale, kind of a rapid fire.
Oh, I knew you were gonna say rapid fire.
I had to, man. I had to.
We didn't warn her. Ask her if she wants. You think she can handle it?
What? What'd you say?
You think she can handle the rapid fire?
What is the rapid fire?
Dude, look at Organically. Hannah says this girl is so interesting. How about that?
Okay, she can handle it.
You know, one of the things that we failed to do on this show, you know, we don't fail very much. I'm just kidding. We fail all the time, but we seem to fail a lot. When these shows get mega interesting, we fail at one thing, and this is what it is. We never ask the feed to like the video right in the middle.
We have 173 people watching live right now. Only 56 likes. I'm not a mathematician, but I would say approximately 100 and I don't know.
I got a request for Brianna. You ready? Brianna, you think you can do this for me?
I don't know if she's ready.
I want you to flip your hair, look at the camera, and go like the video with a big smile.
All right. Oh wait, I gotta get a prop.
She's a sport,
dude.
Hold on, let me get the camera on her.
Yeah, get the camera on her, man. Let's see this.
Right.
Oh man, she's not even in the picture right now.
All right, I had to get a prop.
All right. No.
All right, ready?
Yeah.
What am I saying? Just like the video?
Yeah, just like the video. Look at the camera.
Like the video.
Boom, boss!
Wait, you read it?
That's cool.
The likes are going through the roof right now.
That's the best. Oh, that's so, man, Rakin, that's like more thug life than your shirt, dude. Sorry.
I am a little bit thug life. I have to admit it.
Yeah, I'm gonna literally cut that like 10-second segment out and put it as my intro in all my videos. I bet you I'll get so many likes.
That was awesome, man. That's like, and you know, when I say thug life, we were kind of joking, but when, and like, AKA not kidding, like, AKA, but not kidding. Before the show was starting, like, she's actually going to a Ludacris concert at somewhere in New York. right?
Yeah, I cannot wait.
Oh, dude, she just raised the roof, Raken. We're screwed. All right. Okay, so let's go into wholesale real quick. Let's get into rapid fire mode. I mean, any boss can do rapid fire mode, so
All right, let's see.
don't put on the boss rings if you're not ready. So what strategy do you follow when sourcing wholesale products? Let's kind of keep it simple and rapid fire. What strategy do you follow when sourcing wholesale products?
I mean, I basically like leaf sourcing a little bit, like Dan and Eric talk about and teach. And then just old school sourcing. I mean, I just kind of have a knack for finding stuff. I, you know, take a look at the catalog, see if there are a couple hits. I mean, I keep it pretty simple.
Okay. What are the benefits to wholesale over other sourcing methods such as RA and OA or thrifting?
Definitely, it's going to be your safest option. I mean, we know as Amazon continues to restrict brands, continues to suspend sellers for not being able to prove authenticity or the origin of their products, like you really want to start to take a look at adding a little bit of wholesale. The sky is not falling. Like, I know everybody's like, oh, it's the end of OA and RA. I don't think that. I just think it's important to not have all your eggs in one basket. So add a little bit of wholesale in, protect yourself, know where those products are coming from origin-wise.
Okay, cool. And there is a really good course. I mean, the Wholesale Formula, I mean, it seems like a lot of people are talking about it right now, but that is a legit course, right?
Yeah. I took it a year or two ago now, and I loved it because it was completely, by the time I got to the end, it was actionable. Like, I was cranking on my anchor site. I got a bunch of niche sites set up, and right away I was contacting wholesalers, and I knew how to approach them, what to talk about, whether to call, whether to email, how to provide them with value, how to negotiate. It's awesome. It is a great course.
I knew that you went through the course when you mentioned the leaf sourcing.
Yeah.
Because we're big into that. Cool.
How do you analyze a potential wholesale deal? Now, let's not talk about 2 years before the whole like course and everything. Like right now, Brianna doing wholesale, like how do you kind of analyze the deal?
I mean, I basically analyze it just like I do with online arbitrage. I don't pay too much attention normally to the number of sellers unless it's like in toys and everybody's like there's 500 sellers or something. But you know, generally when I'm wholesale sourcing, I'm going to be looking at listings where there's only a couple of people. So just my normal online arbitrage buying criteria, really. I of course subscribe to like Jungle Scout. And I'm trying to think what was the other one that I used. Mainly Jungle Scout, I guess, to just kind of like estimate how much I want to order so I don't run out. Because of course, whenever you find something that sells well, it's like such a bummer when you don't keep it in stock, you know? So
yeah, first world problems right there, huh? This world sucks. So you said Jungle Scout. Like, where can people start looking to find wholesale deals? Not Jungle Scout. Jungle Scout is the analysis and analyzing kind of thing. But like
software, yeah.
Yeah. Would you recommend ASD? Would you recommend things like that? Or is that kind of like kind of too much traveling? Don't go to Vegas. Like, what would you suggest people if they want to get to finding wholesale deals, even to analyze a SKU sheet? Like, how would you do that?
So I went to ASD in March. That was my first time going.
Hey, we were there.
What was that?
I said we were there.
Oh, I knew Steve was there, but I guess maybe I didn't know that you were there.
Well, clearly you didn't party hard enough because you didn't meet us. But anyway,
you didn't see us at the club.
You didn't see Steve with his money, his calling shirt. Pfft, you didn't experience Vegas then.
I was the one screaming out, "Luda,
Luda, Luda." Yeah, but ASD. So like ASD, you physically are walking around a gigantic place where your feet are going to kill you, right? And
you know what though? It's good to experience it at least once, but it's not completely necessary. I mean, I did secure some great deals there because I was able to actually see the merchandise, and then you can also differentiate between whether they're a distributor or whether they're the manufacturer and all that stuff. So it's definitely worth going. I'll go again in March. I won't be there. The rest of my crew's flying out tomorrow to ASD, but I won't be there this time. But anyway, so what you could do is just go to the ASD website or any trade show website and literally go through the vendors, check out their websites, contact information, just shoot them a message, and or give them a call.
Okay, what part of ASD were you so excited to go see? Like, what section? You were like, I like this section.
Clothing and shoes.
Clothing and shoes. Wow.
That was a big section. I know that we were walking through there for a while, and it was overwhelming.
Yeah. And it's hard to. Well, of course, you know, probably from talking to them too, like you can eliminate some of them because they're not going to sell to Amazon sellers. So that kind of helps you like really hone in on just a couple of vendors rather than like thousands of them.
Right.
But yeah, the clothing and shoes, that's where I headed.
Okay, cool. So another thing, if you're going to ASD, you absolutely have to be semi-serious already about buying, right? They don't like talking to people, correct, Brianna?
Yeah, I mean, and also like you don't have to go in there like super professional. I mean, I just, you know, dress casually and stuff, but you know, kind of know what you're talking about. Do your homework a little bit. I didn't know every single vendor that I went up to, but I knew what my buy criteria was, and I knew what kind of questions to ask to get in and get out quickly, because you do want to see as much as you can. And definitely where I know everybody says this, and it's so silly because I'm very tall. So if I wear like a pair of high heel shoes, I'm like 6'1", but I still wear big huge shoes. And the guys were like, no, don't wear those. Like really, like no, we're serious. You need to wear gym shoes. I'm like, well, no, you really do. Like bring like a tote bag and water, and you know, it's a big place, but it's cool.
Yeah, it's gigantic.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't see all of it. I don't even know.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
The part that I was like, holy crap, I couldn't believe how extensive this one section was the not drug paraphernalia section, but the like the e-cigs and like the vapor stuff. You know what I'm talking about? What is it called? Vaping, right?
The 411 section where they had like all the
holy crap. I couldn't
remember
that. Remember that, Ray? Could you like,
oh yeah, it was, brought me back to my old days.
Yeah, that's exactly what you said. You're just like this is I feel like back in the old days, and man, that section was so big, and it was like chews and like all kinds of like weird. They're just, oh my god, it's so weird
for that stuff, man.
It's insane.
The half-dressed women down in that section.
Yes,
like your sample.
It was tough getting Raken away from all that. Oh, I'm just kidding.
I wouldn't leave. They had to drag me out of there.
Anyway, we always poke fun at each other. So welcome to the green room hangout, Brianna. So let's talk about what advice. So if it came down to negotiating a wholesale deal, you're in front of somebody, you know, there at ASD. Like, do you have any pointers besides don't wear any tall shoes or anything like, or you know what I'm saying? Like, I won't bring my pumps next time, but like, you know, like, do you have anything?
I mean,
you would be like, okay, you know,
just be honest and open with them. You know, don't like weave a web of lies about how you don't sell on Amazon and all that stuff. You don't have to lead with it. I mean, if they don't ask, you don't necessarily have to volunteer the information, but you know, don't hide it. I mean, if Amazon is your main marketplace, like, and you're gonna get your account revoked, it's just not worth a headache. Like, just be honest.
Right.
Yeah, and just know, like, you know, what you can commit to for like an order. Some companies are going to require you, what is it, MOQ?
Yes, MOQ, yeah.
$1,000 or something like that, and just ask a couple pertinent questions like that, and you know, and it helps to make a connection. I can't remember the company name, but I met a gentleman that must have been like the president of the company, and we had some sort of a local connection. And so now when I contact him, he remembers me because there was a way that we connected in our conversation, whether it's, you know, making a comment about somebody's shoes or saying you're from a certain part of the country or you're really into a certain hobby or whatever, just casual conversation, nothing lengthy, but it helps.
Okay. So they call that shooting the, you know what, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you don't want to go into them because it's an indoor place. You don't want to go up to them and be like, yeah, the weather's so pretty outside, because like you're inside the whole time. But you know what I'm saying? Like, you have to do the right kind of shoot that, you know what?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Well, that's good. So we're at about 15 more minutes, maybe 15, 20, something like that. 177 people watching right now. 107 upvotes. Thank you so much. That is definitely boss status in our book. Let's kind of pivot to merch by Amazon. Let's talk about that. I think everyone by now knows what merch by Amazon is, so we really don't need to decode the terminology of what that is. But what are your thoughts on the merch by Amazon program? Do you feel like it's going to be a big opportunity in the future?
Yes, absolutely. If you don't have a merch by Amazon account, I would definitely suggest getting one. I've been on the platform since November, let's see here, 15, I think.
So when it first came out then.
Oh, wow. You jumped on it.
Yeah.
Someone actually had added me to Chris Green's group when it was just in its infancy. There were just a couple of people in there, and I was like, what the heck is the deal with this merch by Amazon thing? But it's an amazing opportunity. Unfortunately, and most people know this, it just grew too quickly. So there's been a lot of growing pains. There's been a lot of scale backs where, you can't list an infinite t-shirts anymore. There's like,
well, it's growing fast, right, Brianna? It's growing fast, and Amazon needs to put some feet down or foot down, whatever you call it, right?
Yeah, they just need some consistency too in rules and policies, which, they're working on and they'll get there. But, it's hard when like some of my best selling shirts at the beginning were just all like F-bomb this and like everything.
Straight for the kill, man. Straight for the kill.
And it sold like TV. And then, they decided that they didn't want profanity or inappropriate humor on the marketplace anymore, and instituted that change. So it's just, you know what though, they don't have to have the platform. They don't have to allow us to sell on there. We play by their rules. If you don't like it, leave. It's kind of where my head is at, and take advantage of what you can.
Do you have your VAs running that business for you primarily? Like maybe how much in terms of like the percentage of a pie, in terms of how much like time goes into that business? Are you running that like 50% or like 10%, or like how does that work with you VAs and time and whatnot?
It's kind of just been fluctuating as the seasons have changed and as my focus has changed. But as far as like the designs and the keywords and all that stuff, the virtual assistants do all of that. They do the research. I do like to have a role in like kind of like looking over the t-shirts and making sure that like I feel like it's a good fit for like generally a US market. But yeah, most of it's done by them. I've had a VA before do all the social media.
Oh, cool.
Too. I got off of that for a little bit just because I'm just in too many places at once. Like I can't.
Do you have your VAs using like Merchant Former or like any software? Because I'll tell you right now, like I just don't like. It's been holding me back too. Like I don't like going in and like researching. Like I could find the niches fine, but I don't like having like be creative and like go on Instagram and Facebook and like find unique like sayings and stuff. Like it's just not my strong point. Like I'm creative, but in that sense, it's just like I'm climbing up a hill. And I was wondering, like, is that easy to train a VA to like use Merchant Former or like
anything
like that?
Definitely gonna want someone US based though. We have found with our writers that it helps if they have like a wide knowledge base of a little bit of everything. Because like, for instance, for me, like I have shirts in every niche. Like I don't even understand half the shirts and like why anybody would even wear them. Well, and like I do enough research, so I'm like, okay, they want a llama on the front of their shirt. Let's do it. Like, so a lot of that stuff is done by virtual assistants. But I do like to be a control freak a little bit, kind of
micromanage a little bit.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Do you feel as if being creative is a strong suit when it comes to merch? And is that one of the reasons why you said go with a USA VA or whatever you said before?
Well, let me explain that portion too. I would go with a US VA also just because of the writing skills. So like you're gonna want to look for someone that has some SEO training as well. Like maybe they've worked. Some of our US-based VAs have written books before, or have worked for like a catalog, or did product listings on somebody's website or whatever. But it's still completely different, on Merch by Amazon. And even with a US-based writer that has a lot of experience, you still have to train them because they don't know the exact formula that that a lot of us are using for our titles and keep talking.
Oh, interesting.
So if I wanted to, or someone watching wanted to go through your service, I think it's va.rentals, right?
Yes.
Could they go through you and essentially say, I'm looking for a VA who can write titles for me, has an understanding of SEO, based domestically and whatnot, and like I want them to do these tasks and jobs, and then you go out, vet them, and find them and match it up, and so I or someone else doesn't have to do all that training, because that's a lot of work training someone just to do minor tasks. Takes actually a lot more time than people think.
Yeah, it does. And think about the fact that a lot of times you're not face to face when you're doing it. I mean, yeah, you can use Skype or like a format like this, but it's
interesting
to translate that.
You're going to be getting an email from me after this because I'm getting pretty excited about that.
With VA rentals, you don't have to commit also. I mean, like if you're really big into merch, or like I actually list on other print-on-demand sites too, other pod sites.
Yeah.
you know, if you can come, if you want a full-time VA, you can certainly do that, or you can utilize our VAs that we employ kind of like personally to do just some jobs for you. Like, let's say you had like 20 shirts and you're like, I don't want to write the titles and key product features. We could just do that for you without you committing to.
Oh, I like that.
That's cool. Yeah. Because some of the most important keywords go in there too, right?
Yeah.
And you got to be patient with that too. Like, you don't want to rush through your SEO and writing the titles and descriptions, because you're spending this money to, you know, let's just say you're outsourcing the graphic design and everything, and then you're uploading it, spending your time. Like, you do not want to rush through that portion, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's I know when the platform began, they kind of a lot of people underestimated the value of filling in those titles and key product features. But it's funny the way that the search algorithm must be in Merch by Amazon. It is so important. Like, if you had a shirt about, let me think of a good term. You need to use different prefixes and suffixes and tenses of a word, like
interesting.
Fishing, fisherman, fish.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
You know, like, they don't. I'm trying to think of a good example. They don't always pick things up. Like, I'm. If you use I'm going to the store, or I am, it doesn't always pick it up. So you actually have to use I'm and I am.
Yeah.
Search.
I'm gonna make a shirt that says "Beach, Please." I'm just kidding. Whoever made that shirt first, like, probably did pretty well. You ever seen that shirt before? Oh, yeah. It's so funny. Anyway, I mean, it's. I'm sure someone like copied it. I don't even know if it's been trademarked or whatever, but man, I'm pretty sure that one sold pretty well. All right, so that's interesting. We kind of discussed how you find profitable niches to sell on merch. That's kind of we actually didn't cover that. Let's get that a real rapid fire answer on these next coming questions. How do you find a profitable niche to sell on Amazon, Brianna?
Hire a VA.
Well, I know, but like, let's say if you didn't want to do the VA thing, if you just wanted to get, like, are there certain sites like Teespring, or are you going to other things like?
Yeah, like, I'm looking at other t-shirt sites. I'm looking a lot at social media. I don't watch a whole lot of TV anymore, but I am a reality TV junkie. I DVR that, and if I'm cranking out some work like late at night, I'll turn that on and have that in the background. But I do try to pay attention to it a little bit, because I get a lot of shirt ideas from things that I see on some of these videos.
Oh, okay.
Too.
Interesting.
You know, just going on Pinterest, going on Twitter, paying attention to the news, looking at other POD sites is basically where I find ideas.
And then you have a VA like cross-check this with trademarks and all kinds of stuff, right? Like, you make sure that they search Google for these things and look for everything, right?
Yeah, so like, I might say, hey, can you like look in the niche of I don't know, eccentric or offbeat t-shirts, and then they'll go through and not even t-shirts, like I look at everything: memes, quotes, coffee mugs, tote bags, like anything at all, a billboard. I mean, anything at all that can provide you with some sort of an idea. And they'll search the trademark and patent website for the trademark, and then like if we do the design for you. Or if you hire someone from Fiverr, always make sure that they're using royalty-free.
Right. The graphics and stuff, or fonts, right? Yeah, cool. Okay, so do you have any tips for making more sales on merch besides the keyword thing?
I mean, if I had more time, you know, when I did have the virtual assistant that was doing the social media stuff, I think that if you really do want to make that like your main source of income, you can do a lot, like focusing on a niche, creating a website, driving traffic to that website, advertising in blogs and forums and stuff. It's just like, for me, being all over the page, that's how my merch account is too. It's like there's no niche. They're all over the place. But if someone really wanted that to be their income, you could do that.
Okay. So let's kind of fast forward into this next thing, because this is going to be a little bit more advanced and it's kind of interesting, but this is the Russell Brunson stuff we're about to talk about. Clickfunnels. You ready?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
You're definitely doing this like right now, like right as we speak, you have this stuff running, correct?
Oh, Clickfunnels? Yeah.
Okay.
So
define that for the people out there in the feed.
Sure.
This is a little bit harder to understand, honestly. This is more internet marketing stuff, and go for it.
Yeah. The funniest thing is I didn't know what it was a couple months ago. I'd heard it 10 minutes. And once I learned about it, I was like, do you know how many times I've been ClickFunneled? Like, people have successfully ClickFunneled me so many times. Like, I have so many add-ons and upsells and all this like stuff that I'm like, I don't even know how it happened. It was like a spiral.
You were ClickFunneled.
Yeah. So basically, ClickFunnels is like a form of marketing, and I kind of picture it as leading a potential buyer through providing high value content for free of some sort or some value to an end goal of, let's say, selling an affiliate product, selling a course, selling an ebook, selling whatever. So like it's obviously the goal is to make money with this thing, and there's a million different ways you can make money with ClickFunnels. So think of it as kind of like a software that builds a really quick website, but the focus of those websites is to drive traffic to them, collect email addresses, and be able to sell your products to people through those email addresses. Like that's the gold, the email addresses that you get from that. And by developing a following and by learning how to drive traffic, which I had no idea, and I'm just learning now how to like really get people to get to your ClickFunnel. It is kind of confusing, but once you start watching a few videos, or like if anyone's ever heard of, I'm all into, you know, the Lady Boss stuff. Well, funniest thing is I got ClickFunneled by one of his top ClickFunnel consultants, Kaylin Toole, who does the Lady Boss fitness program.
Did you hear a podcast with on the Russell Brunson on the show with how they were doing like 200,000 a month? That was insane. I opted into her funnel. I got ClickFunneled so hard. It was crazy. Don't buy and see what happens when you don't buy. See what the ClickFunnel does to you.
Yeah. And it's like, wow, now I go back to study hers because she's always got new, she calls it swag. She's always got some swag, new swag that's dropping. Like there's some that's dropping tonight. And it's just a constant, it's like this cool beast of like automating emails and good quality content to deliver to your followers.
Right. With the end goal being course purchase or something at the end, right? Like something bigger, right?
Yeah. You could even do things like one of my favorite stories from some of his material is the couple that started a hair bow business. The guy was like, hair bows, like I know nothing about a hair bow. How did we even end up here? But they came up with this hair bow idea, and they're making like $100,000 a year just on a little DVD that they created about hair bows. And he was able to leave his job. She left her job. He's pursuing acting because he always wanted to be an actor. It's amazingly powerful tool, and anybody can use it. You don't have to be an online entrepreneur either to use it.
I notice a lot of e-commerce sellers who are selling physical products. What they're doing is they're using ClickFunnels, and a lot of you folks may be able to relate to this if you have your own Shopify store. Is what they're doing is they're giving away a product for free plus shipping, and they're essentially getting your email and you're opting into their funnel. They're serving you with value, building the relationship over time, and selling you products down the road. You know, McDonald's has the same thing in a sense where they get you in the door with like $1 cheeseburger, right? They don't make any money on that.
They lose money on some of that stuff too, on some of that. Yeah.
That's like it's like a tripwire in a sense. It's almost like something free that they're giving away. Like you see a lot of retail stores doing this too. Like they'll run like 70% off sales. Like they're losing money, but they know based on 1,000 people who go through the store that 300 are going to spend that much money, and they just know, if you know your numbers, then you can, it's like at the end of the day, the person who wins marketing whoever wins the marketing is whoever could spend the most money to acquire the customer.
It's interesting. So essentially the funnel is a relationship building tool where you are connecting with your prospective buyer over many could be all kinds of things, right? And the end goal or the end result is to serve your customer, to learn your customer, and to get the right ones through to buy and purchase and go back into another funnel and just trust you, right?
Right, absolutely. And you can actually make a ClickFunnel for ClickFunnels. So in other words, like teaching people not only how to use it, but how to be an affiliate for ClickFunnels.
So is this like the movie Twister when like 2 tornadoes come out of nowhere and they just start tearing up the landscape, and it's like double ClickFunnels going around?
Their affiliate program's insane. Could you tell everybody what they have going on this year for the affiliate program if you get 100 people signed up under you? Do you know about that?
Oh yeah. If you get 100 people, they will buy you your dream car and pay the monthly payment up to $500 a month. And then if you get 200, and you have to consistently have the subscribers under you, but as you get bigger, you just, even if you lose a few, you gain a lot. If you get 200 people, they'll pay it up to $1,000. And
plus you're getting your affiliate cut too on top of it, I think.
Yeah, there are some people that they're like, I don't have a following. Like, I don't, what am I supposed to do? Like, I have no following on Facebook, no following on Twitter. There's still ways to make money with ClickFunnels. And he even goes into brick and mortar businesses, from accounting to dentistry, that can be using ClickFunnels in their businesses as well.
Unbelievable, right? The world we live in.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, there's just ways, like you're saying, like you were working that teacher job, and if you just kept working that job, you would have never figured this out, right?
Yeah, and I look at it as that led me to this, though, It's like there was a reason, I guess, that I was a teacher for a while, and actually I was doing a lot of internet-type stuff for the district anyway, creating online courses, so it lent itself well to where I am now.
Cool. So I thought that, we're basically at the end of the show's content. We actually made it through an outline, which is awesome. And we've been able to do this successfully for the past like 4 shows now, even though Rakin's outlines they're pretty good and they're very long, So I got to say, I'll leave it out to the crowd. Did you guys like Brianna? I thought this was a good guest. Let us know and hit the like button, please, because there have been a lot of eye-opening parts of this show, Rakin, honestly.
One of the best guests I think that have ever been on. Like, you made it super,
really
like you killed it. So appreciate it.
Yeah, there's a comment here from Schwartznack says, I will need to commit to rewatching the show so I can write notes this time around. And there was a previous comment by that person as well saying, could you please get her on for a second show one day? Because he already knew, like, we're kind of rushing through the content, right? Sort of, to get the bird's eye kind of stuff. But I think it might be warranted for another secondary show or something like that. Let's take a time while everyone's writing, like, awesome job, reinvite Brianna. Oh my gosh, tons of comments are coming through.
Wow.
Let's take a second so they can connect with you real quick. Anything that you're involved in, how can they get in touch with you and follow your journey, Brianna?
So definitely friend me, follow me on Facebook, look up Elite Product Sourcing, pop in there, free Facebook group. We're primarily talking to Amazon FBA in there. I am starting a couple of just personal groups that I'm hoping to keep small, like I call them side hustle groups. So like I have one that I just started for ClickFunnels, and we're all kind of working together trying to get ClickFunnels going. I'm a little bit ahead because I've already taken, obviously, the material, but so you can find me in there. VA Rentals, if you just look that up on Facebook, you can find me there talking about merch by Amazon. And then my website, BriannaMullerGreen.com. It's a work in progress. The control freak in me, I still have not had somebody professional like do the finishing touches. I'm on there just entering all the information, and then a web developer will make it look a little better.
Very hands-on, Brianna. Very hands-on. Love it.
I like it.
That's awesome. So some great comments coming through. I learned a lot. Great show, guys. Please bring her back. Thanks for sharing, Brianna. Rock the house down. Bonafide, your sleeves are hurting. That's not one for Brianna. Hold on. Full show on ClickFunnels, please. Jess Elizabeth. That's pretty interesting. Okay, so maybe we can do a show like that. Great show. Thanks, Rakin and Bonafide and Brianna. This information you share is priceless. This lady's rocking, and I'm definitely watching this at least one more time to take away some note taking and bring her back. Someone didn't have Wi-Fi the whole time, and he missed the whole entire broadcast. Please have it back on YouTube again soon. Look, if you wait 10 minutes, it'll be on Rakin's channel. It'll be on my channel as well. We put the show on both channels. So that's pretty much awesome. We don't want to take up too much more of your night, Brianna. Thank you for coming here to the Green Room Hangout. Hopefully, we'll be seeing Brianna again, guys. Rakin, I'll leave it to you with closing words, and we're good.
Sure, yeah. Thanks, College Picker. He was in the comments. He couldn't come on the video, but he was in the comments answering questions and whatnot. So CP, thank you. CP says shower, Dave Ramsey, then bed. Yeah, but yeah, thanks everybody. Appreciate you guys coming on. If you have any more suggestions for guests that you'd like to come on, shoot us a message, let us know. But Brianna, you were awesome. Really appreciate it. Especially check out the VA website, because I think that's really, really cool, and her Facebook group and website and everything. Check it all out. But thanks for coming on, everybody. Hit the like button, subscribe, and we'll see you next Wednesday. Check out the Bonafide Hustle YouTube channel as well. All right. See ya.